goodness. The rumors were true.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. So
Wow.
Daniel Jones, the Duke quarterback, you just a few minutes ago compared him to Peyton Manning. So you apparently think this is the right move.
I said it after I got done watching his tape. I said, "There's no way. He's going to go in the top 10 of this draft.
Yep.
He will go in the top 10. He looks like an NFL quarterback. He has incredible pocket presence. He executes fakes. He does the little things like an NFL quarterback. Mm-hmm. The macro things, accuracy, decision making. He does not necessarily do like an NFL quarterback. The ball tracking, when we did all of that, he was not measuring up to even a Dwayne Haskins in this draft. And now, realistically, his talent he had there at Duke was on the complete opposite end of the spectrum from Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State. He just had no bottom 5 graded offensive line in all of college football. One of the worst receiving cores. There were plays in the Clemson game where, Peyton Manning is prime not completing a pass because no one was within an inch. No one was more than an inch away from a defensive back. So his wide receiving core there. So there was that holding him back. That's the biggest positive though for him was that you can't necessarily evaluate how good he was because he had no talent. That's the only real good thing you can say about him. But I will say he comes into the building immediately able to do. There's no getting him up to speed. He immediately is up to speed in the little things of an NFL offense. So I can see why Gettleman fell in love. We did not fall in love, though. He was a day 2 guy.
A couple of things with this guy one of the tapes I think you have to watch is the Miami tape. Came out and he looked good early. It started raining like crazy in that game. And there were a couple of balls that completely got away from him. I mean, like completely got away from him. Now you go to New York, and college football ends sort of in November, right? It doesn't really go into the really bad weather. So now you're going into New York, so you're going to be tested on the weather front there as well. Now, the other thing I'll say about him is he runs pretty well. There were some plays where I'm not talking about not the speed, but he runs like he has some toughness to him. Yep. But again, I think you hit on it, all the little things he does really well. He can throw on the move. He does all those things. He sees the field. His eye, he'll go through progressions. He'll do all that. I just don't think he has the physical skill set of the next 2 guys that'll come off the board in all likelihood at quarterback.
And I want to say one thing about you mentioned how bad the supporting cast was.
Yes.
And we can account for that mathematically. Mm-hmm. And that does boost how we would view his accuracy above what we would expect. In other words, if a guy's under pressure, right, he's about to get hit, we don't expect it to be accurate. Those types of things we can account for, and that does help. But there are still things like grade from a clean pocket. Yes. That's why I want to ask you, Eric. We projected all these guys from college to pro. We took into account how they played in their situation and how that will translate to an NFL situation. Daniel Jones shows up where?
Yeah, he's firmly in that, I would say, 4th cluster of college quarterbacks. We had Murray first, we had Greer mathematically second, and then it was Haskins, and then it was sort of the Jones-Lock era. Daniel Jones, it's understand. On a per snap basis, his grade is similar to Drew Lock, to Brett Rippon, Ryan Finley, Dwayne Haskins. The expected points added in college per play he's the only one of these players for whom it's negative, right? So there is some disconnect.
It's a team stat, obviously.
His team did struggle. He was the best in his class at limiting negatively graded throws, which is a good thing. So there are some positives with him. Yeah. It just, limited in terms of big-time throws and, just simply on a play-for-play basis, not nearly as accurate as some of the Greers and the Murrays in this class. So that dropped him a little bit. So a head-scratcher for the New York Giants.